Hello, welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. It's been a long time since you guys have seen me in my beekeeping veil. That's because it hasn't been honeybee season and we are just now getting into some warm spring days. The red maple is blooming and the bees are not the point of this video. I'm actually going to be getting into a little bit of an update on $50 February, which is going really well. But I know quite a few of you prayed for our bees over the really intense cold snap that we had over this past winter. And I wanted to give you guys an update on how the bees are doing. They're very, very active. I'm trying to be smart given that it is an overcast day and not stand directly in front of the colonies, but I'm also trying to count and see how many out of the 7 colonies have activity. And from this angle, it looks like we might have 7 for 7 still. So it's not that we're out of the woods yet. We're not quite into the throes of spring. March can still deal a deadly blow to these bees, but I am so astounded at how well these guys have done over the course of this really strange winter. Hopefully I was able to get their activity on camera. I don't want to push my luck and step too close to them, but they look to be doing really well, and I think I see activity coming out of every colony. Okay, so $50 February. If you've been following the channel a little bit, you know that we are participating in a challenge with a few Homestead channel friends. And the challenge was to help us really utilize our pantry in the month of February and only spend $50 in groceries for the whole month. And because we are a family of 6, our budget is actually $150, which is really good. Whew, let's get out of the wind. So the $150 that we are allotted to spend is really awesome, but it is still really limiting compared to what we're used to spending. So I'll go ahead and roll our grocery haul right here so you can see exactly what we bought with our budget, and then we'll come back and talk about the meals that we ate this week. Alrighty guys, so we have another grocery trip done for the $50 February challenge. So we did get a few different items this week than we got last week. This week I bought some cheese, where last week I opted to buy bread. I've flip-flopped this week. I have reactivated my sourdough starter, so I'm gonna be making a lot more bread this week, but I don't exactly have as much milk as we had last week because I just bought a brand new baby goat. You've probably seen him in a couple videos. If you haven't, I'm sure I will put him in the video here somewhere so you can see him. And he is on goat's milk. So we are giving a lot of our goat's milk to him. I do have a little bit of formula that I can give him. I have found that my goats don't do super awesome if I have them on full milk replacer. So we're at least gonna give him half a half goat's milk and milk replacer, and we are really eagerly awaiting kidding season coming up real soon, our spring kidding season. So we're gonna have a lot of milk in March, but not in February. So we did get a little bit of cheese and no bread. We are very blessed to live close to a Amish discount grocer. We were talking to the owner tonight, and he said that he knows that these discount stores are everywhere, and if you're looking for one in your area, let us know. He can probably let you know where your closest discount store is. Now, I told him that we do have viewers from all over the country and really all over the world according to our analytics. So I don't know if he's really able to tell you all where your discount grocers are, but I do know that they are all over the place, and they're usually just known about through word of mouth. So ask around, because finding little gems like this in your community really does help stretch the dollar. So the biggest deal that we got tonight was on these peanut butter poppers. This is a Target brand. This is a whole case of 12 back here that we got for $6. And at Target, this goes for $40.68 if you were to buy 12 individual boxes like this. These are little chickpea chips that our kids really like to have with their lunches. This is a case of 12 that we got for $2.75. Retail price, it was $21.99. So we saved a lot of money there too. We also got this little 4-pack of organic Triscuits. The whole case was $2, and at the store it would have been $13.96. So these little cheeses that we bought, these 7-ounce smoked cheddar cheeses, are absolutely delicious. We're just gonna cut them up, maybe serve them on some of these Triscuits with a little bit of our relish or some salsa. It's gonna be really delicious. Those were 50 cents each, and at the regular store, they are $6 each. So that was a super great deal as well. We did run out of peanut butter this week. We do have a lot of sunflower butter still, so I almost didn't pick this up, but I don't normally see peanut butter, creamy peanut butter at this cheap of a price at the store. This was $2.19 for 2 pounds, which I thought was a good deal. So I picked it up because I saw it. And then, funny story, we were actually in the cooler talking to the owners, like I said, about this challenge, and they're Amish, and I don't know if I mentioned that before. The owners of this store are an Amish family, and they thought it was just amazing. They really love the idea of this channel, and they really love the idea of this challenge. And they thought it was amazing that we were only spending $37.50 at maximum on our groceries every week this month. And so we were kind of talking about our budget and talking about the things that we would have purchased if we did have our regular budget in play. And one of those things that I would have purchased was this drinkable yogurt, and I'm pretty sure it's basically kefir. This is a local milk product from one of the local farms here, but it's $5 for the drinkable yogurt inside the bottle, and the bottle itself is $1, I think $1.50. So it was $6.50 just for this. So I told him, you know, if it wasn't for the budget, I would buy that, but tell me how you like it, because it looks like it's gonna be really delicious. And somebody in the cooler heard us talking about the challenge, and they handed me $5 and said, "Merry Christmas, please try that drinkable yogurt." So we went ahead and bought it with that gift. The people that own the store, they are very good friends of ours, and they happened to throw in a little bit of chocolate for us so that we can get through the week without going too crazy. But that's that. This is our haul. Most of the fresh stuff that I got today costs pretty much about the same as you get at the regular grocery store. I honestly thought that even iceberg lettuce was going to be more expensive at the regular grocery store, but it looks like online it's not. It's $2 both at Walmart and where we bought it. Do you need attention? So February 8th was a fun one. I made chicken and dumplings, and we have not had chicken and dumplings in a really long time. These chickens were actually carcasses from chickens that we grew in 2020, so those really needed to come out of the freezer. It was great to get them out of the freezer. On February 9th, I made Salisbury steak out of some venison. It was delicious, and we had it with some sweet potatoes from our garden, as well as some cabbage that we bought from the store, garnished with a few sprouts that we grew here. This was a very delicious dinner. Actually, the evening of the 10th, my brother-in-law came and took all 4 kids. My brother and sister-in-law watched the kids for the evening for us, so that was really cool. But Levi and I decided we're just gonna eat some of our salsa with some Velveeta cheese and have chips and cheese for dinner. So that's what we did for dinner. But the next morning, we had a really awesome breakfast. We pulled out some venison backstrap from the freezer, also from 2020, and it was amazing. Grilled up with some hash browns and a side of kefir. This challenge has been really awesome to force me to really dig into the depths of the freezer and get some of those older meats out. They were just as delicious as the day they went in. A lot of people ask me a lot of times, well, how long does X, Y, and Z last in the freezer? And I don't really know. I think it depends on what it is and how it's preserved and really what your tastes are. But this meat is 2.5 years in the freezer, and it was delicious. So the night of the 11th, we had eggs for dinner, but it was elevated eggs. It was on top of sourdough bread with a little bit of goat cheese underneath. Absolutely yummy. The night of the 12th was a really long day. I had a lot going on, but thankfully we had some Homestead fast food on the shelf in the form of venison stew. So I was able to just heat that up real quick on the stove, use our rice cooker to make some rice, and we had a really awesome dinner. I did manage to make a pumpkin pie as well. For dinner, I had canned that pumpkin out of a really huge pumpkin that we bought at one of our local Amish stores. This big old pumpkin was only $4, and I think I got 19 pints of pureed pumpkin out of it. So we were able to enjoy that in the form of pumpkin pie. February 13th, we actually had eggs again. It was omelets, and the insides of the omelets were actually tomatoes and green peppers that we grew in our greenhouse last season. The tomatoes were dehydrated and the peppers were frozen, so what I did was I actually just put the frozen peppers straight into a hot pan. They did release some liquid, so I was able to throw the dehydrated tomatoes on top. Those rehydrated really well, and it made a really awesome omelet filling. And again, that day I made some sourdough bread, and that blueberry jam I made last year as well. Those were not blueberries that we grew. I actually just ordered some more blueberry plants since all of our blueberry plants did not make it through the heat and the drought from last year, but it's okay. One day we will have a lot of homegrown blueberries. And then last night, February 14th, we made just a regular old pasta and red sauce. The meat inside the meat sauce was actually goat. It was really delicious. We had a lot of venison this week, and it was nice to break it up with a little bit of goat. They do taste different. The goat is sweeter. It has a more supple texture, and we really, really enjoyed it. So the whole point of this challenge for us really was to help encourage us to use up what's already on the shelf and already in the freezers and spend a lot less on groceries. And so far it's going really, really well. You will notice that a lot of other people who are participating in the challenge are going a lot more hardcore than us. More power to them. I can't do it. So we did have a few things from our regular grocery store pantry on our plates, and we'll continue to do so. We actually work really hard to sell dairy goats here, to sell rabbits, and make an income off of the farm. So we feel like even the things that are in our store-bought pantry are still supported by the farm. And if you want to hear more about how our farm income kind of works as far as our dairy goats go, I just made a video on that, and I'm going to link it up here. Calamity wants to say bye. Say bye. Bye.